This is Sound Off 60.
I want to make sure that the best team is the champion.
Yeah.
I want to play,
And that's key.
if that tournament comes up with this is the best team, I'm for that.
Southwest Louisiana's premier sports talk television show.
With me?
Hey.
Without me? All
That
right.
might be the
Hey.
dumbest argument we've ever had.
You
I
are
like the
the
way he
most
does that.
idiotic imbecile if you thought that argument did not have merit. Look, did not.
All right,
McCarran.
So you're talking about my LSU quarterback?
Yeah.
What you put with me, without me.
Sound Off 60 is presented by Tarver Ford in Sulphur. Give us a chance to earn your business. And by Jack Daniel's Bar and Grill at LaBerge Casino Resort. Here are the boys, Rick, Scooter, and Kevin.
Let me be the first to tell you happy Thanksgiving, our holiday week show. We're here
It is,
again,
huh?
brother. Just us.
You ain't my
The,
brother.
the fighting twosome. This week we are because we're here again without Guidry, which is okay by us. We got a lot to talk about. Happy Thanksgiving early to you,
I'm
Mr.
sure
Hobbs.
he's in a suite somewhere in the Superdome.
He is at the Dome. Saints and Ravens, of course, a Monday Night Football. We'll get into a little bit of the byproduct of that game.
You know, I'm
Obviously,
not
we're not
whining,
gonna.
but really and truly, all the happy things, it's never been a holiday for me just because
Oh,
of
the
what
whining
I do.
starts.
And I'm not whining.
The whining
I
starts.
accepted that long ago.
Long ago.
I accepted that long ago.
This, though,
Thanksgiving is not.
This, though, well, let's see. LSU used to always play Arkansas on the Friday after Thanksgiving.
Which meant I was traveling on Thanksgiving. Every other year,
Every
anyway.
other year. Every year.
When they played in Little Rock,
Right.
I was traveling
Right.
on Thanksgiving.
Now it's really travel. The day
Well,
before,
yeah,
you got to
yeah.
go to College Station,
Well,
LSU. All right.
Actually, I think I'm driving over the day of the game. but
Nothing wrong
yeah.
with that. A lot to talk about, guys. A lot of football and some baseball, believe it or not. The Cicchini brothers will join us later on in the show. Garen and Gavin are here. They're in town, maybe for a little home cooking, for a little baseball, and we got a lot to talk about the Cicchini brothers. These two guys, let me preface it by saying, you have a longer history here than I do, and you're much more entrenched in baseball. But even baseball and beyond, these two, Garen and Gavin, are probably, they would be in the top 10 of most decorated players that come out of this area in all
Baseball
sports.
players?
In all sports.
Oh, yeah.
In all sports. Think about what these two have accomplished and how high they win in the MLB draft. So, yeah,
They had
definitely
that chance,
baseball.
for sure.
Definitely baseball.
Them along probably with Joe Lawrence in baseball. And,
Yeah. Well, Ray Fontenot. I mean,
And Ray Fontenot,
Ray Fontenot,
yeah.
and I'm not going to throw Ron
There's some
Guidry in the
others.
mix, but we'll call it really local with Ray Fontenot. So yeah, I would call
Guidry's
it.
Lafayette.
Yeah. So they're coming up later on in the show. So we got a lot of baseball to talk about. Get caught up with the Cicchini brothers. Let's talk about the call before we get into the meat of the show. The call and the catch. The call, be it the replay booth at the McNeese game, which is an ending, Scooter,
I know.
and a rule book interpretation that I don't think I've ever seen. Now we'll get into that, and the catch, of course, Odell Beckham Jr. and the unbelievable one-handed grab. He plays for the Giants, and it was the Giants and the Dallas Cowboys, and it all went for naught because they ended up losing anyway. All right.
It didn't all go for naught. That catch is going to make him a
It's-
lot of money.
yes, it
I'll
will.
get into that more.
We'll get into, but before we get into McNeese, I guess I'll leave it to the experts, to the pros. Many have said it's the greatest they've ever seen.
What?
The catch by
Oh, I
Odell
thought
Beckham.
we were going
it's
back to
great.
McNeese.
It's
Okay.
great. I don't know about the greatest ever, maybe the greatest one-handed grab ever, but there's been a lot of great catches.
I don't know about one-handed. Jarvis Landry, it was amazingly similar to the
Yeah.
catch Jarvis Landry made 2 years ago against Arkansas.
Yeah, in the end
Both
zone
of it.
and in traffic.
Yeah.
Or
Yes,
somewhat
in
traffic.
Yeah. He had a guy on his hip.
Yeah, on
And
the
it
on the
maybe
end line.
even had a little tougher angle.
Yeah.
I went back and watched it last night, and they're close.
They're close, huh? Yeah.
All right,
Anyway, all right. The
But
McNeese,
yeah, I don't know how you define grace, but a lot of people that know a lot more football
Yeah.
than I have
Yeah.
have called it the
I
greatest
mean,
catch ever.
from the Chris Carters of the world, the analysts, the wide receiver analysts are all saying it's one of the best or the greatest ever. All right. The end of the McNeese-Lamar game.
I mean, did that sum up McNeese's season?
It really did.
I mean, if something can go wrong,
Yeah.
and
I mean, it's like this huge snake on Viator's back, and maybe encompassing the entire team, defense, offense, whatever. And that snake just keeps biting on that back. That's how they feel in regards to snake bitten and the frustration they're feeling. Up in the press box, it looked like, and you know, everybody has probably heard of it, or not many people were at the game, a little over 7,000 or less. But anyway, it looked like it was a catch. It looked like it was a football move and a fumble and an ensuing
to me, there was
touchdown.
no question. Now, if they had called it an incomplete pass, maybe I could see them not overturn. But how did they overturn calling that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, maybe the Southland ought to get out of the replay business. Number one, let's face it. You're not dealing with CBS's 2:30 p.m. cameras and angles here.
Of course not.
And McNeese is probably better off than many because they've got a better stadium than many. But I mean, come on, if they overturned that call, what were they looking at?
I don't know. Now, from the press box side, the Lamar receiver catches it, and it was on the McNeese side, so it wasn't facing the press box.
Yeah.
But supposedly there are several. He obviously had several different angles, and
well, I mean, I talked to people that saw a few of the angles, and the one angle I saw, it sure looked like a catch.
It sure looked like a catch to me. And you know, talking with Matt Viator after the game, I mean, I don't want to say I hammered him, but I peppered him with a lot of questions on that. And he said that from his vantage point, he did not know, but he thought they might review it, but didn't think they would overturn it, following your line of thought.
Yeah.
But he said the coaches in the box who saw it said it was a catch. He made 3 steps, and it was a clean knockout and ensuing touchdown.
I mean,
that would have.
That just floors me. I mean,
How do you?
And then, in that insult to injury, and I guess by the rule of the law, the 30 yards in penalties.
That's the other side of it that I just don't get.
Well, you know,
have you ever seen that?
Well, no,
I've not.
Well,
I'm not.
sure I have, and either one of those would have been. There are some allowances they make, though. Let's say it should be that. Say that this came up in the Alabama game, I think, against Lane Kiffin when he was at Tennessee. Tennessee was kicking a field goal, I think, on the last play of the game. And they missed it, and Alabama started celebrating, throwing their helmets up and everything like that. Well, there was a penalty. So Tennessee fans, I argued, well, that was excessive celebration, taking helmets off on the field, the whole works.
Right.
Well, they said no because Alabama had every right to think the game was over.
Right.
You know.
Okay.
But and that's not the best example. But there are similar examples where what would have been some kind of penalty is kind of waved off because of these circumstances.
The circumstance.
Now, I'm not sure either one of those. Now, they were going to get the excessive celebration anyway, even if they had to kick off.
If they had to kick off.
Yeah.
Oh, granted.
Yeah.
How do you excessive celebration unsportsmanlike? We don't have time to get into the tripping of the referee. We'll do
that's
that later.
Obviously a penalty.
Well, hold on now. I don't think so. Not in my opinion. But anyway.
Okay.
How do you call a penalty on excessive celebration of a touchdown, and it's negated, so there's no touchdown, but there's still celebration and still mark it off?
Well,
how do you do that?
I would guess only because
I can see on the kickoff.
That would have been a penalty even if the touchdown had stood.
But it would have been on the kickoff. But here's the circumstances. Lamar still has the ball.
I'm with you.
30 yards up in that situation. I mean, give them the field goal.
Give
them the field goal.
And of course, you know, McNeese's luck, they get 2 penalties that both count.
Exactly.
One during the play and one after.
It's
who else but McNeese this year could have that happen to him?
Viator said
that
it was the right
yards,
call. 30 yards. Oh, in that situation, Viator said, according to the rule book, they had to march it off. I want to see it in black and white, and if it's in black and white, that's a fallacy of the rule book, and that needs to be.
I agree.
That needs to be readdressed. Now, I'm not just talking about because it was so late in the game. I'm just saying, in any situation, if a touchdown is taken away, it's no touchdown.
Well, you can't
Celebration.
say any situation.
Oh, I think yeah, I would say in any situation.
What if it had been a
Not-
personal foul?
But
You
this
can't
is,
wave off a
no,
personal foul.
I'm talking about excessive celebration.
Okay.
That we all have a problem with.
Okay.
That only the context of the excessive celebration, not a play like that, not what anything else. I'm talking about a celebration. What you just said in the Alabama. I mean, the context, the circumstances. Anyway,
But
push that
see,
aside.
if there had been time on the clock, Alabama would probably have still been penalized.
Yeah, but there was no time on that clock.
No.
Yeah,
But
this
Big
one had
East, there was time on
There
the
was a
clock.
lot of time, but I'm saying
I'm not really disagreeing
them
with you,
30
but I
yards?
don't know. It almost becomes a judgment call.
exactly. Hold that thought.
and-
Hold that thought, because I think the running into the referee tripping, I think is another judgment call.
Okay.
I really do. All right, we're up against the clock. All right, we mentioned earlier Gavin and Garen Caccini are going to be with us a little bit later on to talk about their career so far and a whole lot of baseball. When we come back, we want to talk LSU rivalry week, Thanksgiving night, A&M, how do you salvage the season, and a whole lot more. A lot of football to come. We're still going to talk about the McNeese ending and what a weird shaft job the Cowboys got with this, which I believe were Big 12 officials. We'll do that and more when we come back to Jack Daniels. Stay right here.
Sound Off 60 is brought to you by Tarver Ford in Sulphur. Give us a chance to earn your business. And by Jack Daniels Bar and Grill at L'Auberge Casino Resort.
Miller invented light beer, the original 96-calorie Pilsner, and that changed everything. This led to fewer guys with beer bellies, which led to more women attracted to those guys, which led to dates, second dates, wedding bells, and honeymoons, which led to hubba-da, boom, which led to you. Miller Lite, we invented light beer, and you're welcome.
Hi, we're the Tarvers. Southwest Louisiana has been our home for all of our 30 years, and we're proud to have been born and raised in this community. We're also proud to continue the family tradition of serving the area with honesty, integrity, and Southern hospitality. And between our two stores, we have 150 employees who share those same values. If you already buy or service your vehicles with us, we'd like to say thank you. And if not, whether you're in the market for an import or a domestic, or you're interested in a career as part of our team, we'd like to invite you to come see what a car buying experience is supposed to be like at Lake Charles Toyota and Tarver Ford.
Dr. Cassio was my choice.
Dr. Cassio is my choice.
Dr. Cassio was my choice.
Dr. Brett Cassio is fellowship trained and board certified in both orthopedics and sports medicine. He has the tools, techniques, and experience to get athletes back on the field of play. Call 337-494-4900.
Dr. Brent Cassio is the official sports medicine physician of Sound Off 60.
What is it about Luxair cooling products that deliver the comfort you've been wishing for? Is it their energy-saving performance? Those super cozy moments with loved ones? Or perhaps it's that great feeling you get in helping those wishing for a little comfort of their own. For over a decade, we've been helping deliver hope, strength, and joy to Make-A-Wish children and families at a time when they need it most. Find out how Luxair home comfort products will make you feel really good this season. Luxair, the comfort you've been wishing for.
Welcome back to Jack Daniels at L'Auberge Casino. A couple of things I want to remind you of for the holidays. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving, Jen Kober is coming into Jack Daniels to do homegrown comedy. That is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So that will get you riled up for your turkey day. That's coming up this week now. So get your tickets and plan on Jen Kober, homegrown comedy here at Jack Daniels. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving, that's this week because it's a holiday week. Now next week, it would be next Thursday, December 4th, the annual Hector San Miguel Memorial Luncheon and Award Celebration is planned for at the Special Event Center here at L'Auberge Casino.
Noon, I guess it is, yeah.
11:30ish. 11:30ish. Get your tickets. You got to have tickets to go to that. It's really going to be a special one.
This year's honoree, of course, is Bobby Dower.
The late Bobby Dower.
You know, so I've got a special. And I also know the guest speaker, Molly Moore, who wrote Women at War, longtime foreign correspondent for the Washington Post.
Spent some years at the American Press.
You know, well, yeah, and she's, you know, she's a Lake Charles native, went to Barb High School, and she is really one of the best journalists in the country.
Great.
Well worth, I'm sure it will be well worth listening to.
And it's all happening at L'Auberge Casino at the Special Events Center, the Hector San Miguel Memorial Luncheon and Award Ceremony, a journalism ceremony. It's going on Thursday, December 4th. So get your tickets. Molly Moore, war correspondent, and the late Bobby Dower will be the honoree this year. So a lot going on, and that's going to be an interesting thing. All right, I opened the show with the catch. We'll talk about that. We're still on the call, still on the McNeese and Lamar ending. The referee tripping, here's where I think it's a judgment call, Scooter. He's running, he's the trailing umpire, if you will.
That's why they tell you to get back.
Get back. I know that. I did not see the trip. I saw him getting up and the hat in the air. Really, I just thought he threw the hat in the air for some reason. Maybe because I thought the guy ran out of bounds or something. Yeah. Well, he tripped. All right, he's running in the white, okay? Viator was there. He clearly saw the referee. There was a collision or a trip in the white. Okay, you're granted the players are not supposed to be in there. Yeah. But again, in the circumstances, in the context of this game, they are there because they're looking to see this critical play, and he's trailing.
That's a rule.
It is a rule.
I mean,
and if there's any
it's
contact,
there for a reason. Referees will not trip.
Have you not seen contact on the field with players? And they don't always throw the flag. They don't always throw the flag. They get laid out sometimes.
Well, they're supposed to.
But they don't.
I think for the most part they do.
If they're on the field and they're in the line of action in the line.
I think it was
fire, if you will.
The Steelers coach got involved in that. He actually hit a player early. I think it was this year. A player ran
Mike
into
Tomlin.
him.
Yeah.
I forget the details of it. The tripping, I mean, that rule's there.
They didn't trip him. He tripped on players. They didn't trip the referee.
They weren't supposed to be there.
I know that.
That's why they're not supposed to be there.
My contention is, we'll try to run around them, and if you still fall,
but
it's a judgment call.
The official is running.
Shove the flag in your pocket.
The official is looking back at the field. He's not looking for somebody standing in the white.
But he's trailing.
That's why.
He's trailing. He's pretty much out of this play. I just think, I got more of a problem with them marking off the 15-yard for celebration for a play that didn't happen, that they took off the board. That's what I really have a problem with. Hello, young lady. But the tripping of the referee, I just think it can be a judgment call. Well, and he may have been reprimanded for it, but judgment call. Of course, Lamar would have went nuts. Woodard would have been going nuts, you know? Anyway,
I don't know. The excessive celebration, I don't know what the answer is there. I mean, but and if only one of them had happened.
Hello there.
No.
There she goes. That's called a live television camera. That's okay. That's all right. We're moving on. She's sorry. At least she smiled about it. All right, let me get back on a train of thought here. Okay. How do you, I know it's a big play. It's a scoring play. But, Scooter, there were this game was, every play can be critical.
What I'm saying
they don't replay an earlier fumble.
I don't know what the answer is there. I mean, we're probably not even having this conversation if they get the call right, which apparently they didn't.
No, they didn't.
but let's say even they missed the call. Would you have been that upset if it had only been one of the two had been called, where it was only a 15-yard penalty instead of a 30?
With the reversal of the call, I can see maybe the tripping of the referee because, again, it has to be called. Yes, 15 yards, but 30, give Lamar the field goal, damn it. Give it to him. 30 yards extra from where they were, a couple of plays
I'm
scooted
sure
their
what
field goal
they
range.
will tell you is if that is a 30-yard penalty on the first play of the game, it's a 30-yard penalty on the last.
I don't understand the
and
rule
it's
book in
hard
that
to
situation.
argue that, and if
I don't understand the rule book in that situation, and I think Viator and Bruce Hemphill should file some kind of papers.
Well,
Talk
I don't
to
know.
somebody
I don't,
in the Southland
that's the way
Conference
the
about
rule reads. I don't know what grievance
maybe it
they
does.
would have.
Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. I hadn't done the research on that.
If
it's
I'm
wrong.
if I'm them, I would be more interested in hearing, and I'm sure Matt Viator called the conference office
I
Sunday,
would hope so.
bright and early Sunday.
I would hope so.
And I would like to know what kind of explanation as to why they overturned.
We will ask Matt to come on the show, and that will be
what
our
did
first
they
question.
see that nobody else has seen?
Yeah. Earlier in the game, there was a controversial.
And at least they would have to admit they should have put time back on the clock.
Exactly. There was a controversial fumble by Ryan Ross. There was another controversial fumble by a Lamar player. No replay. No replay. Loose ball, fumbles. You can replay that. No replay. But they chose. I don't know why. No replay. And you know, there's no challenging in college football. It's like you can call a time. You can call a timeout. You can call a timeout and like, hey, you know. But there was none. So all of a sudden now this critical play, let's take another look at it. And they had different angles. You saw it. I will say this. A friend of mine, Ron Hayes, sideline reporter, talked to him today right there. Had possession. And he saw it. Kid had possession, moved 3 steps. And
I'd prefer to hear it from a little more neutral observer.
I got you on that one.
But
I got you on that one. But I want to talk to people who were there and saw it up close. Now the angles, I clearly say the man had possession.
Well, I mean, if you can't tell from the replays that you
would
saw,
think. You would think.
How could they overturn it?
You would think. And it was the call on the field was catch, fumble, return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling to me. It really is. We're up against the clock. All right. When we come back, we got the Caccini brothers coming up after this next coming segment. We're going to talk rivalry week, LSU, A&M. Are they rivals?
Trying to be.
They're trying to be. We're gonna play along because it's rivalry week. We're coming back in 2 minutes to Jack Daniels. Stay right there.
Sound Off 60 is presented by Jack Daniels Bar and Grill at L'Auberge Casino Resort and by Tarver Ford, Begless Parkway in Sulphur.
Get your free American Press app today. It's all at your fingertips. News, sports, advertising, entertainment, and video delivered through your Apple or Android mobile device. Capture the informative power of the American Press, Southwest Louisiana's premier source for news and advertising. Get your American Press app today. Download it for free through your iTunes or App Store. You'll love the look and feel of our newest digital offering. The app flawlessly delivers the local news most important to you in a new, striking layout. Get your American Press app today.
Hi, we're the Tarvers. Southwest Louisiana has been our home for all of our 30 years, and we're proud to have been born and raised in this community. We're also proud to continue the family tradition of serving the area with honesty, integrity, and Southern hospitality. And between our 2 stores, we have 150 employees who share those same values. If you already buy or service your vehicles with us, we'd like to say thank you. And if not, whether you're in the market for an import or a domestic, or you're interested in a career as part of our team, we'd like to invite you to come see what a car buying experience is supposed to be like at Lake Charles Toyota and Tarver Ford.
Choosing your doctors and healthcare professionals is an important and personal decision, and one that you should feel totally comfortable with. Hello, I'm Dr. Trisa Guidry, and I'd like to welcome you to our clinic, where your health and well-being is our top priority. I'm a board-certified OBGYN and a graduate of LSU. My dedicated staff and I would like to invite you to call for a consultation and appointment. You will experience the trust, comfort, and medical treatments you deserve. We are Dr. Trisa Guidry.
All right, welcome back to Jack Daniels at L'Auberge. Is the wandering waitress coming back? I don't know. She back for...
We need her as one of the trivia girls
Woo!
tonight.
All right, that was fun. All right. Terrible weekend in college football this past week. Great week this one coming up. Rivalry week. I mean, the list goes on. The big one, of course, nationally or in the SEC is still the Iron Bowl. Come on, Alabama and Auburn, everything at stake on this one. Mississippi State and Ole Miss, the Egg Bowl, where is that being played? In Oxford?
Oxford.
Oregon State, big ramifications.
The Civil War.
Oklahoma State, and of course Ohio State and Michigan, and then there's LSU, Texas A&M. We've argued
Thanksgiving
about
night.
Thanksgiving night. You'll be there, College Station. What is Alabama the true LSU rival now?
Well, sure.
It's now
Sure.
that's the rival.
Sure. I mean, that game has. I mean, they don't need a boot to play
No, they
for
don't.
or a Magnolia Bowl.
Nope.
Yeah, but I think A&M LSU had become a pretty good rival back when they played 10 straight. Well, they played forever up until I guess the early 70s.
Okay.
And then they had that 10-year series that I think LSU cut one short or whatever up to the mid-90s, I guess it was. And I think it was a decent rivalry then. Is it right now? I don't know. I think what really makes it have a chance is LSU has such a huge alumni presence in Houston, which is kind of, battleground
Borders,
there. I mean, I think it's got a much better chance of becoming a big rival than Arkansas ever did, with LSU, despite the allure of the boot.
The boot.
But yeah, I mean, and I know I had a bad feeling for LSU going this game because I just think right now it means more to A&M just because LSU spoiled two pretty good seasons for them the last two. I guess LSU's the only team that's beat them both years they've been in the SEC. I think it has a chance. It will take a couple of years and some bad calls and bad blood and stuff like that.
When they in your history of covering LSU, was it always competitive? Was it fiery? Was it fiery between the players? Was it good games? A lot of them? I can't tell you.
You got to remember back when they played before, it was normally to start the season.
Okay.
If not the first game, it would be like the second game.
Right.
So that was different. It was kind of a build-up game.
Right.
All summer to build that game up.
Right.
So it was a little different, But, I mean, like I said, I think it's got a chance.
Okay. Brandon Harris. What was said at the press conference today on Monday?
He's really improved this week.
Oh, he really improved. Okay.
This week.
All right.
I don't know. My own personal feeling, I would not start him. We know how that turned out at Auburn. A&M isn't going to be much different. You got to remember, this is playing into their tradition, too. LSU's not used to playing on Thanksgiving, but A&M has a long tradition of playing Thanksgiving Day.
Right.
It used to be Texas.
Right.
So
Good point.
You plug LSU into Thanksgiving Day, that kind of makes it a rival.
Oh, yeah.
They're used to finishing their turkey and getting mad at somebody.
Right. And it's obviously going to have national eyeballs on it.
Yeah, and but from saying that, and when they play every other year at LSU, it's not going to be on Thanksgiving.
No,
it's just the games that it may be on Friday, like Arkansas was, but it's not going to be on Thanksgiving.
So they have permanently moved the Arkansas game.
Well,
for
basically,
Texas A&M.
yeah. I mean, when they're in College Station.
Yeah.
I would not start Brandon Harris. I would wait second or third series, and I don't know. Alternate them every series.
Right.
It can't be any worse.
Can't be any worse. It can't be any worse.
I have never in my life seen a team that is otherwise a pretty good team held down by one position. Now, that's one position that can do it.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a team begging.
Is there a critical bowl game that's at stake here? If they win, they get this. If they lose, not really.
I think the highest LSU could hope for right now would be the Outback Bowl, but of course they played there last year. I don't know. It could run the gamut. That'd be about the only New Year's Day bowl I think they could get. And they'd have to win. Some other teams would have to lose.
Correct to say I covered, a short period, about 3 Iron Bowls. Unbelievable.
And I've
my
never
short
been to
stay
one.
in Alabama.
On my bucket
It's
list.
unbelievable. Is it really, especially this week now? Okay, I've never been Ohio State, Michigan. I'm sure it's crazy. Oregon State. Okay, but Iron Bowl, the name, the history, it really is. In your opinion, the biggest, meanest rivalry in all of college football?
There's no question, because I mean they're all fighting for second place.
Yeah.
When it comes to rivalries.
In Alabama, it's
because that is
365,
one that is truly 365.
It really is.
I mean, it's not just a lump. When you get a driver's license in Alabama, you have to declare Alabama or Auburn.
Oh yeah.
There's no middle ground in the whole state.
Hey, I was there doing sports for a short time in Montgomery, which is closer to Auburn. It doesn't matter. Every time I was in public, if anybody saw me or met me, it's Bama or Auburn. I'm Louisiana, still. Bama or Auburn. Who are you going to support? Who's going to win? Whatever. Every time. It's 365.
There's
and
nothing in the world like
and
it.
you've never covered an Iron Bowl.
I have never.
You've got to
been
cover
an
an Iron Bowl.
I know it's
the
on
ground
the old bucket
shakes.
list.
It's the ground, and of course, last year's. I don't know. I'd have to look at it again, and it might be the greatest game ever played or the greatest finish.
It was the greatest ending, maybe.
It was the greatest ending. It's unbelievable. Of course, you know, the missed field goal, no time on the clock. He runs at 102 yards for the winning touchdown for Auburn, and it knocks Alabama out of the national championship picture. Unbelievable. What? All right. Baseball coming up next. Garen and Gavin Maccini are in town. We're going to talk some baseball with the Caccini brothers when we come back to Jack Daniels. Stay right here.
We are worldwide, 365 and 24/7 at soundoff60.com. Soundoff 60 is presented by Jack Daniels Bar and Grill at L'Auberge Casino Resort and by Tarver Ford Sulphur. Back after this break.
Gold. It's the color of quality, the color of taste, the color of a true Pilsner. Let your eyes drink it in. When you want a real light beer, it's Miller time.
Dr. Casio was my choice.
Dr. Casio is my choice.
Dr. Casio was my choice.
Dr. Brett Casio is fellowship trained and board certified in both orthopedics and sports medicine. He has the tools, techniques, and experience to get athletes back on the field of play. Call 337-494-4900.
Dr. Brent Casio is the official sports medicine physician of Soundoff 60.
Dig in. Because after a few icy seconds, you'll discover the light beer brewed for 21 days. And that's time well spent. When you want a real light beer, it's Miller time.
Welcome back to Jack Daniels at L'Auberge Casino. We're talking small ball, some baseball with Garen and Gavin Caccini from the old Barb days, now in Major League Baseball with the Boston Red Sox, New York Mets. All right, let's set the record straight, because you've been gone for a little while. Garen's on the outside, older, Boston Red Sox. Gavin on the inside, younger, New York Mets.
That's right.
Now you identify who's better looking, Hobbs, so the women out there know. Okay, I'll leave that up to you.
Am I in there?
Yeah, I'm going to put you in that envious situation. Guys, we appreciate you coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
In for Turkey Day, in for the holidays?
No, well, we're actually in for the off season. I mean, I've been here since the big league season ended September 29th, and I've been here since September 29th just trying to get in shape for next season.
Yeah.
It's a never-ending process.
Yeah.
And same with me, but I had to, I got home around the same time as him, but I had to leave to go to Port St. Lucie where our spring training place is. And I had to go to a thing called Instructional League where you just play a few games and for 2.5 weeks. And then I've been back here ever since. So.
Yeah. You know, I've always heard of that. and I've never known exactly what that was.
Instructional
It lasted 2.5 weeks?
Yeah.
Well, I had an idea, but I mean, exactly what did you do?
Right,
Is
well,
it like an intense spring training with, or just games?
It's more of one-on-one stuff. In spring training, you have obviously the whole organization there, big league and minor league. So, you know, you're really trying to, in spring training, just make a team. And, if you want flips, they give you flips, but they're not really working on you one-on-one. In instructional league, it gives the players an opportunity to work with the coordinators and hitting coaches and infield coordinators to work, one-on-one solo to whatever, you need.
Right. Then you didn't tell them your daddy was your high school coach and you knew everything there was to know about baseball?
I think my brother and I both, we're always, talking to, our teammates and the coordinators about, how great the facilities are down, in Lake Charles and how they just won a national championship. So,
yeah, Garen, you got a little bit of head start on little brother.
Yeah.
You spent the last 3 or 4 weeks with the Boston Red Sox in the big leagues, if you will, with the major league roster. In short, that experience. I think you had maybe a couple of hits, home run.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it was a great experience. A dream come true. I mean, if I had to tell any kid that wanted to play big league baseball, I would say just keep going for your dream because it's the best. It is. It really is. When people say it's the best, it is. The food, the travel, the fields, the fans, playing for the Red Sox against the Yankees, Derek Jeter's last game ever. I mean, it was the best. And I mean, it's hard to explain, but anything that you can dream of, but 100 times better.
Oh, so you were there for Jeter's last game?
I caught Jeter's last 2 hits, actually. That's crazy.
Did you really?
Yeah, I was starting.
I did not know that.
Remember that for trivia questions.
Yeah.
I'll be.
His last 2 hits were both to me. They're high choppers off the plate, and I had no play, so it was an infield hit.
I'll be.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, like I said, you get a little bit of head start on you. What's the process? How difficult is it? You know already.
Right. You
to get to the show.
Minor league baseball?
To get to the big roster.
Well, definitely, man. Obviously, there's a thing called the minor leagues in professional baseball, whereas in the NBA and the NFL, once you're drafted, you're on the team. You're in the show. Whereas in baseball, I got drafted, my brother got drafted. We were both 18 years old, and you have to go through the minor leagues, step by step. And for each organization is different. But for the Mets, we have a Gulf Coast team. We have 2 short season teams, which are rookie ball teams. We have a low A, high A, double A, and triple A. So as a high school player, they want you to go through every single level, just for the progression of your career, and and just to go to every level and to succeed, and they want to see you fail too, just to see, because this game is all about failure, man. You're gonna fail 70. If you fail 70% of the time in baseball, you could become a Hall of Famer. You have a 300 career batting average, man. That's unbelievable. That's the best of the best.
Let me ask you both this. You maybe would know a little more. Coming up that ladder, do you notice immediately the difference from one to the next when you make the step?
I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a process like that y'all are saying. I mean, I don't think the young kids don't obviously know what the process is until you experience it. And I feel like the biggest jump is from double A to triple A. Some guys say high A to double A. And then obviously is going to be a jump from triple A to the big leagues.
Yeah.
And I mean, each level is better. The experience, I think you can't.
I mean, do you immediately notice, these pitchers are different?
No doubt. From my first pitch I saw in AAA, I'm like, well, he didn't leave that one over the plate. He's going to nibble here. It's going to be a long night if he's going to nibble, and I'm not going to get anything to hit. So, but I mean, you get used to it like everything. You get used to 90 miles an hour coming out of high school, and then it doesn't look like 90 anymore.
Yeah.
I got to ask you. You mentioned earlier about the Jeter hits. You caught the last 2. Did you cut the balls?
I tried, and
He tried.
A Major League Baseball rep came running out in the field and took the ball from me.
Right. Yeah. Garen and Gavin Caccini has joined us. Look, I'm not overstating this, but Louisiana has the Mannings, okay? The first family of football from Louisiana, of course. Really, you guys are the first family of baseball, at least from the southern part of Louisiana and our part of the state. That's how with your dad, Glenn Caccini, and what he's done at Barr, what you guys were able to accomplish, and now with the Mets and the Boston Red Sox, we're going to dub you guys the first family of baseball from this part of the state. Boston Red Sox, New York Mets. Look, the latest news came earlier in the week. Pablo Sandoval from the San Francisco
yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
Yeah.
What, three World Series in 5 years, and he was a big part of that. Free agent. He signs with the Boston Red Sox. He plays the same position as you. They ended up spending another $90 million on Hadley Ramirez. Again, infielder, might move him, whatever. Where does that put you?
I mean, here
with
you are
the
right
Boston
on the
Red
cusp of
yeah.
the major
yeah.
league.
You're still on the big league roster.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
And all I could say is I know they're really good players, obviously by what they got paid, have a lot of success, and I just need to go out and play the way Garen Giacchini knows how to play, and I'm sure I'll get a shot. I don't think good players get blocked from the big leagues. I really don't think so.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a good player and I've proven it, and I don't think they get blocked from the big leagues.
Have you talked to the Red Sox since all this went down?
What's that?
Have you talked to the?
No, I haven't talked to
team?
them. You just read on Twitter and stuff like that. But I mean, like I said, I can move positions, obviously, just like Hanley Ramirez is moving positions, and I mean, if they're willing to move positions, I'm sure Garen Giacchini can move a position.
Yeah.
So any way that I can help the Red Sox, win baseball games is what I'm going to try.
Well, let me ask you this, and if you don't want to answer it, that's fine.
Yeah.
But as a minor league player, right on the cusp, say all the way coming up,
yeah.
Do you feel like you're a Red Sox, or you just want to get to the major leagues? You don't care what team it is.
I feel like you want to get to the major leagues, but you want to get to the major leagues with that team that you were drafted on.
I mean, you got to feel something with them.
Yeah. There's no doubt, because they drafted you,
now.
and your dream has sort of came true when they started to draft you, and then you develop in their system, and you kind of, I guess this is weird, but you kind of bond with them, and then you want to play for them, and you want to win for them.
Right.
And I understand it's a business and everything, trust me, but you still have a soft spot, there for them.
But that said, they come to you and say, we've got $150 million invested in this. We'd be leaving you in AAA another couple of years, but Team B is ready for you in the major leagues right now.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be hard to leave, I guess.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it would be that hard to leave, but I think those kind of things are out of my control. If I was the GM, I would put myself in the big leagues, but I'm not the GM.
Well, everybody talks about what a business it is and all. And you've been through it. I'm sure you've had a lot of discussions with GMs and player personnel guys and all. How do they normally treat you? I mean, do you feel like they really have your best interest, or are they strictly looking at you is piece to plug here or plug there?
I think there's two pieces. I think they do really want to have your best interest. I do, because you're an investment to them, especially when you got drafted by them. When you're an investment, I think about my investments. I mean, it's just kind of like, I look at them and I care about them and I ask questions about them. And another thing, it's also a business. They got to win. They got to win, especially in Boston and New York. They got to win right away.
Right.
And they got to do what they got to do. Their job. They have a job too.
But Garrett, to follow Scooter's point, you were drafted by the Red Sox. Would you really, another year in AAA to stay with the Red Sox or make that jump in a major league with Milwaukee?
Well, yeah, I don't really have a choice, though. That's what I'm saying. I don't have a choice. I'm under team control for the next 3 years.
Is it 3? Okay.
2 or 3 years,
right.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about today. I'm under team control for the next 2 or 3, so I don't have a choice. I have to go to AAA and keep developing into the big leaguer that they want me to be.
Yeah. Now, Gavin, how far along? With the Mets, I don't know what's going on with the Mets. Mm-hmm. How far along do you think it's going to be for you to get that shot at least?
You know what, man? Like he said, it's really out of your control for the players. I don't know if I'm going to get called up. I don't even know where I'm going to be after spring training. You know, they don't tell you anything where you're going until a day before you have to report to wherever you got to go. So I really can't answer that question because, you know, we're kind of clueless on that. We just kind of have to go out there and like Garen said, he has to be Garen Cicchini, I have to be Gavin Cicchini, and just play baseball that we've always been playing since we were real young,
right,
you know?
Right.
So.
Right. Now let me jump in quickly. This is a development I heard about 2 or 3 weeks ago. A former minor league player who's now an attorney is filing suit claiming that the minor league baseball, which is run by Major League Baseball, minor league baseball is almost like a way of putting it, you know, just hard labor, like, you know, slave labor, if you will. Now, you guys got a lot of money.
Right.
You signed for a lot of money.
Right,
now,
right.
You're maybe, you know, not atypical of that.
Right. Well, it's definitely, I heard someone say it during the season that we're actually, minor leaguers are making less than minimum wage.
Yes.
And for guys that don't have, you know, signed for big bonuses, it's tough because you got to find places to live.
Yeah.
You got to eat. You know, you have to find a way to get to the ballpark every day, and it is tough. You know,
life.
some Latin players that don't sign for a lot of money, even a lot of Americans, you know, that are 4 year, you know, went to college for 4 years and signed for $5,000 or even just a plane ticket. It is really tough. So me and my brother are both blessed that we had the opportunity to be with 2 great organizations and to sign for the money that we signed for. Definitely.
Either one of you, if you've got any experience like in mid-season, I guess you probably try to get an apartment wherever you're living at the time. How does that work?
Right. Well, I played in 3 different levels this year, and I had an apartment. And I played in Savannah, Georgia. I had an apartment there, and then I got called up at the All-Star break to St. Lucie, High A, and I had an apartment there, and then I got called up to Double A for the playoffs. And I was there for 2 weeks, so there was no reason to get an apartment, so I was just in a hotel.
How do you keep up with where your clothes are?
Live out of a suitcase, that's what you do.
Yeah.
So.
Well, the Cicchini brothers, obviously in town for a little bit of the holidays. It's off season. You're doing a hitting camp, hitting with the pros at Barb.
Yep.
If you're watching the show on Monday, it's Monday and Tuesday. So, Garen, you were saying, hey, if the kiddos want to come out to the ballpark tomorrow morning at about 8 o'clock, hit with the pros, maybe walk up,
come hit with us.
And come hit with you out at Barb High School for one more day. Can't let you go without talking about another state title that your dad was able to get this past year. A great team, a lot of great players that went to D1. How does
with all due respect, this last year's Barb team, that's the best high school team I ever saw.
Well, obviously, because they were the national champions.
That's the best high school team I ever saw in my life.
It is.
I mean, it was.
It
really is.
How does Pop do it? How do you continue to do it?
Work ethic. He's so relentless in what he does, and he's always wants to be on the cutting edge of everything. We kind of make fun of him sometimes because he's always going and he can't even remember even to get his phone.
Yeah.
You know, so and doesn't even really remember to eat sometimes.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a great guy and an unbelievable coach. Obviously, he's got good players over there, so he's lucky sometimes. But he's also coached them to make them feel that they're better than what they are.
Yeah.
And they end up being good baseball players, actually. So
and great people too.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys coming in.
Well,
Gavin, continued
us.
great luck with the New York Mets. You'll be in the Big Apple pretty soon.
Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And I wish you the best of luck with all the moves with the Boston Red Sox. Garen and Gavin Cicchini, really 2 of the most decorated athletes out of Southwest Louisiana, in particular baseball. We'll take a short pause. We're coming back to JD in about 2.5. Stay right there.
Jack Daniel's Bar and Grill at LeBerge Casino Resort, home of Sound Off 60, and Tarver Ford in Sulphur. Give us a chance to earn your business. Round 5 with the boys coming up.
Hi, we're the Tarvers. Southwest Louisiana has been our home for all of our 30 years, and we're proud to have been born and raised in this community. We're also proud to continue the family tradition of serving the area with honesty, integrity, and Southern hospitality. And between our 2 stores, we have 150 employees who share those same values. If you already buy or service your vehicles with us, we'd like to say thank you. And if not, whether you're in the market for an import or a domestic, or you're interested in a career as part of our team, we'd like to invite you to come see what a car buying experience is supposed to be like at Lake Charles Toyota and Tarver Ford.
Get your free American Press app today. It's all at your fingertips. News, sports, advertising, entertainment, and video delivered through your Apple or Android mobile device. Capture the informative power of the American Press, Southwest Louisiana's premier source for news and advertising. Get your American Press app today. Download it for free through your iTunes or App Store. You'll love the look and feel of our newest digital offering. The app flawlessly delivers the local news most important to you in a new, striking layout. Get your American Press app today.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, with those holiday greetings and gay happy meetings when friends come to call. It's the most wonderful time, yes, the most wonderful time of the year.
Welcome back to Jack Daniels. Want to remind you, big show coming up at LaBerge Casino.
It's
Michael
rocking
Bolton.
in here tonight.
I know, it's rocking tonight. Michael Bolton, December 12th at the Special Event Center here at LaBerge Casino. Going to be a great show, and as always, great entertainment here. All right, many thanks to Gavin and Garen Caccini for joining us. Great guys. Boston Red Sox, New York Mets, we're going to see them. Either with those teams or somewhere else, they're going to be in the major leagues together. Mark my words. All right, college football. Speaking of, I don't know if you saw this, but the McNeese Lamar and the hitting of the referee. Did you see the Jameis Winston pushing of the referee in the Boston College game? Not a push, but a little get out of my way. I want to snap the ball.
I didn't think that should be I heard people saying it should be ejected. I'm not even sure it should be a penalty.
I don't think it should be a penalty either.
I mean, there was no intent.
No.
I
want to snap the ball, get out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like he shoved him, he kind of grazed him. I'm not the biggest Jameis fan, but I'm gonna give him a slide.
And staying on that
now, if they had called a penalty, maybe. If you want to go by the letter of the law, like your tripping deal.
There was contact.
Okay, but I heard people saying he should have been ejected.
No, that's ridiculous.
No
ejection, no flag. Look, in the line of fire. Look, I'm all for respecting the referees, and you got to respect them. And there's a line you shouldn't cross.
There's going to be a certain amount of contact.
Exactly.
Now it's a little different if you're off the field and a player not in the game does it.
All right.
Okay.
All right. I got you covered there. All right. The New Orleans Saints, Monday night game. It's on right now. Okay. We don't know what's going on. All right. A door is open. Mike Smith, Falcons head coach, left too many seconds on the clock. Cleveland goes down, gets the winning field goal, rah, 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 they beat Atlanta. The door is open. How many more doors are open for New Orleans to really take control of this pitiful NFC South? To really take control, if that's at all possible.
They can take control of the division
for 1 week
tonight.
Tonight, if they win,
and then they can focus on getting back to 500.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
How crazy is that?
It is crazy. I've
got a bad feeling. But really, if you look at it, and other teams have already done it, the Saints could turn this around.
Yeah, they can.
Because of the division they're in.
Yes.
Now, they probably would have dug too big a hole. I mean,
they got Carolina and Atlanta. You got to play them again.
The Saints probably are the best team in the division. Even as badly as they played.
Yeah.
And they have time to get it going where, I mean, what does it matter if you make the playoffs just as a sacrificial lamb?
There's criticism of making it with a losing record.
Seattle
did it at 7-9 a couple of years ago. I don't care. That's the rules. You win the division.
And Seattle won.
And they did. They beat the Saints.
Beat the Saints.
Ironically enough.
So there's your example 8.
Yeah, I know.
They had a losing record that year where they were 500.
7-9.
7-9.
7-9. Horrible clock management by Mike Smith, but I was glad to see it.
That was just
horrible.
What in the world? To me, not only was the clock, but the play call was as bad.
I don't get it.
I mean, that ball could have been intercepted.
I don't get it. I was just
that
like sitting there.
That ball could have been intercepted.
I'm with you, Scooter. I'm with you, and I'm glad to see it happen to those guys. We're up against the clock again. We got to get the girls in to stump the wise guys. We'll talk about high school football when we come back. And another ranking, college football ranking. We're going to do that. They're going to stump us. I have a feeling they're going to stump us tonight. We'll see. We'll be back in 2. Stay right there.
Sound Off 60 is presented by Tarver Ford, Sulphur. Give us a chance to earn your business. And by Jack Daniel's Bar and Grill at LaBerge Casino Resort.
Hi, we're the Tarvers. Southwest Louisiana has been our home for all of our 30 years, and we're proud to have been born and raised in this community. We're also proud to continue the family tradition of serving the area with honesty, integrity, and Southern hospitality. And between our two stores, we have 150 employees who share those same values. If you already buy or service your vehicles with us, we'd like to say thank you. And if not, whether you're in the market for an import or a domestic, or you're interested in a career as part of our team, we'd like to invite you to come see what a car buying experience is supposed to be like at Lake Charles Toyota and Tarver Ford.
Dr. Casio was my choice.
Dr. Casio is my choice.
Dr. Casio was my choice.
Dr. Brett Casio is fellowship trained and board certified in both orthopedics and sports medicine. He has the tools, techniques, and experience to get athletes back on the field of play. Call 337-494-4900.
Dr. Brent Casio is the official sports medicine physician of Sound Off 60.
What is it about Luxair cooling products that deliver the comfort you've been wishing for? Is it their energy-saving performance? Those super cozy moments with loved ones? Or perhaps it's that great feeling you get in helping those wishing for a little comfort of their own. For over a decade, we've been helping deliver hope, strength, and joy to Make-A-Wish children and families at a time when they need it most. Find out how Luxair home comfort products will make you feel really good this season. Luxair, the comfort you've been wishing for.
All right, we're back here at Jack Daniels, Stump the Wise Guy. She loves riding solo. It's Kayla. She's back to kill us. She's back to hammer us. She's a tough one.
She can hit me.
She's slight. She's a lightweight, but she...
Kevin's not here. Your cheater's not here.
That's right. The cheater's not here, so you got us. We're going to be honest.
Hey,
all
hey
right,
now.
here we go.
Scooter. All right, 5 questions today, guys.
5.
All right.
Rapid fire.
Time to test your knowledge of championship game MVP award winners for 2014. First
that
question
would be this
is,
year, Hobbs. Think recent.
name the 2014 Super Bowl MVP winner.
Seattle Seahawks.
Mm-hmm. But what's his name?
No-name guy, linebacker guy.
Mm-hmm.
Smith, Larry, Martin,
Really?
David,
Defense?
Smith. The
Defense?
defensive, yeah. He had a couple of interceptions.
I didn't remember that.
Smith, help me out.
You close.
I'm very close.
Close.
Marvin.
Close.
Wilson.
No, it starts, you right on the track with the M.
Well, you tell us, and I'm going to rule we got it because we got the last name
All
of
right,
the team.
it's Malcolm Smith.
Malcolm Smith, linebacker. He had a fumble,
All right.
recover, and 2 picks.
You get a half a point for that because I had to give you
She's
half
tough,
of the answer.
I know.
Okay. Who won the 2014 MVP trophy for the NBA Finals?
I couldn't tell you who was in the NBA.
Oh, it was the Spurs. They won it. It was the young guy that plays
Tony
out on the
Parker.
wing. Kawhi Leonard, something like that.
So,
Made
yeah,
a bunch of
something like
shots.
that.
Leonard, young kid.
Yep, that's right.
Second-year player.
All right. Name the 2014 World Series MVP award winner.
Oh, that's
Just
easy.
recent. Giants. Pitcher. Come on, Hobbs. Where's Gavin Caccini and Guerin when you need them? Giants. We're running out of time.
Lumberjill.
Bumgardner, but I
Bumgarner.
don't get the
Yeah.
first name.
Well,
she needs the
that's
first
good
name.
enough.
Bumgardner. Madison Bumgardner.
Okay.
Unbelievable performance.
Half a point for that one, too.
Thank you. Half a point. Gosh,
No, I'm getting a full point.
No, you get a half a point. Okay. Who was awarded the MVP hardware for the 2014 Stanley Cup Finals?
Oh, Hobbs. All yours, man.
Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky.
No.
I knew we were going to get stumped. Something told me. Is that it? We got one. No, I know it's not it, but we don't know NHL.
That's the only hockey
You don't
player
know?
I know.
No, we lost.
Come on, even.
Sidney Crosby.
No.
Wrong team.
Just tell me the team, and I'll give you half a point.
I think it was the
I don't
Kings.
know.
I think LA won it, but
It's the Kings.
The Kings?
Yeah.
All right, so
And the person was Justin Williams.
have no clue.
Never heard of it.
Do I get a half a point for getting the team?
Well, I don't know.
Justin Bieber.
All right, last
All
one.
right, bonus question. Name the MVP award winners from the 2014 BCS National College Football Championship game.
14 BC. Oh, BCS.
BC, Florida State won it.
Jameis Winston.
Winston.
And?
Well, he was offense. College, they do both, don't they,
Oh.
Scooter? Offense and defense, MVP.
I don't remember.
I don't know Florida State guy. I don't know. We're stumped.
The defense MVP was P.J. Williams.
Don't know him. If we had Jimbo
That's some
Fisher
tough
here, we'd
stuff.
know it. Unbelievable.
Well, Jimbo's gotten very defensive.
Thank you, sweetheart.
problem.
She's tough.
You too.
She's tough. Are we out of time? We're out of time. We got it. Thanks a lot, Kate. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Wave
Throw
at
some.
the camera, Caleb.
I'm going to throw some congratulations. Great year for the Bar Bucks. They lose in the playoffs. Same thing for the LaGrange Gators. And congratulations to the McNeese Cowgirls. Big upset over Southern Miss over the weekend. Last second 2 free throws to win it by the young Miss Allison Baggett. All right, that's going to do it. Hobbs will be back next week. Not Hobbs.
I think Hobbs.
I think you're here. Guidry, we might have Kayla sitting in for me because I'm tired.
Do the whole show next week?
I won't be here next week. I'll be in North Carolina next week, but
She's going to be in
I'll
North
be here in
Carolina.
spirit.
Travel more than Kevin.
Yeah. Until next time, everybody, have a great sports week.
Sound Off 60 is presented by Tarver Ford in Sulphur. Give us a chance to earn your business. And by Jack Daniel's Bar and Grill at LaBerge Casino Resort. Sound Off 60 airs on Suddenlink Cable Channel 60 Monday through Sunday nights, 9 p.m. and again Saturday and Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Sound Off 60 also airs throughout the week on Communicom Cable Channel 6 at 9 p.m. across Southwest Louisiana. Check your local listings. Post your questions and comments for the boys and access our website links at soundoff60.com.